Jim Cramer on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange to answer viewers' questions by way of social media on Facebook and on Twitter. Use hashtag CramerCute for that. Jim, we're going to start first on the earnings front. Caterpillar, Peter says, looks like a solid company, focusing on the balance sheet, keeping it strong. When is the time to buy it?
Okay, this is why I do these things in social media and why I'm sick of the critics who want me to answer on Twitter, because I'll get it wrong. You can't have 140 characters to describe what's going on in Caterpillar. Doug Oberhammer has fixed the balance sheet. Now, typically when they have a downturn like this is the possible fourth year that things are bad, you would expect that there's stretched balance sheet. There isn't, which is why people want to be able to buy. Here's the problem. Their end markets are mining, end markets are oil, end markets are infrastructure, construction, and these are just the worst end markets you can have. And then they're also levered, of course, to any sort of growth in China. So it kind of really doesn't matter right now, but I do think the dividend is safe for the balance sheet.
Tim wants to know your thoughts of Nucor ahead of its earnings.
It's the only steel company I would possibly get in front of, with the exception of Reliance Steel, but they are being eviscerated by Chinese dumping, and I'm going to talk about that when we get out to the Republican debate next week.
Someone asked about Under Armour ahead of the earnings.
Okay, Under Armour reported a really good quarter. Now here's the problem. There's always somebody who second guesses Armour. They're always worried about some inventory issue. I say look at Connected Fitness. The growth of that technology portion of Under Armour is fantastic. I hope it comes in so you can buy it.
We have somebody who says, I already own Under Armour, so best of breed, Deckers Outdoor, Lululemon, or Skechers? Okay,
I think Skechers is a remarkable momentum story. That would be the one.
Robert, what's your thoughts on McDonald's?
Okay, Easterbrook is just magnificent. There's nothing I can say about this guy. I got behind him when the stock was in the low 90s. The people at McDonald's convinced me that the turn is real. They were right, I'm right. Stick with Easterbrook.
Do you eat breakfast for dinner?
I would. Egg McMuffin has historically been, from the week it was introduced, my favorite meal if I ever can get away with it with my waistline.
Finally, we have a lot of questions on Facebook about the railroads, Jim. Southern, Canadian Pacific. What do you do with some of these names?
Union Pacific is speaking much more bullishly. It's got the least coal exposure, and that's the one you want to own if you want to own one. I'm turning very positive on Union Pacific, but I obviously don't like to chase.
Jim Cramer, thanks so much. Remember, send your questions to Jim on social media. This is where he answers them. You can find him on Facebook, and on Twitter, he's at Jim Cramer. Use hashtag CramerQ. I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.
To get more of Jim Cramer's investing ideas, as well as a peek at other stocks he owns in his multi-million-dollar charitable trust portfolio, subscribe to Action Alerts Plus. Sign up for Action Alerts Plus at getcrameredge.com. That's getcrameredge.com.